Well, hi guys. Coach Jerry here at the Protocol Strength and Conditioning in Tucson, Arizona, and welcome to Coach's Corner. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite exercises, the ab wheel. This is an awesome ab exercise, and a lot of times we see people making a lot of mistakes with it. So today I wanted to shoot this quick Coach's Corner video to show you guys how to avoid the biggest mistakes in the ab wheel. The first thing I want to explain before we even get started is the main place that you should be feeling this exercise is in your abs. It seems like a simple thing to say, but if it's done incorrectly, there's a lot of things that you're going to feel on here that you should not. Some examples would be pain in the shoulders or in the neck or in the traps, and also, most importantly, lower back pain. If you are attempting to do ab wheel on your own, and you're experiencing pain either in your shoulders, your lower back, or really in any place other than your abs, stop immediately. You're not getting the benefit out of the exercise. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about, is making sure that however you're doing this, you are reverse engineering the motion so the main place that you feel it is in your abs. This is what a true ab wheel should look like. With that out of the way, let's talk about mistake number one. The first mistake that I see people making when they're doing ab wheel is that they're absolutely dead set on getting the wheel out as far as they possibly can. Now, if you look at this position that I'm in, I'm not really working anything besides stretching in my shoulders. This is not where I want to be when I initiate the movement. How far out you roll the wheel out with your arms has very little to do with how good your ab roll is going to be. As a matter of fact, if you'll notice, I'm going to try and get my shoulders directly over my fists, and I'm going to come out maybe to about here. And you'll notice here my body is basically flat from the knees to the shoulders. I may have a slight pike in the hips, and that's okay. Now, I don't know if the camera is catching this or not, but I'm already starting to shake a little bit. My abs are working way more than if I were to just roll the wheel out. Here, I'm not shaking at all. I'm not having any trouble talking to you. This is easy. Coming out here is the first position that you want to be in when you're rolling out the ab wheel. Now, once you're in this position with your body, then you can try to roll it out maybe a little bit farther. If your shoulders or your ab strength don't allow you to roll the wheel out very far, coming out to about here and holding for about 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and pulling back, and doing that for a handful of reps is going to be a much better ab training workout than if you were just to do it, than if you were just to try to roll out with the shoulders. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is very similar to the first mistake. People will initiate the movement through some part of their body other than their hips. So what we're trying to do here is we want to initiate the movement with our hips, and another way to think about that is to get your butt down. So if I stayed here and I initiated the motion with my arms, eventually my body will start to follow, but I have a risk of feeling that too much in my back. So instead of going here first, I want to go hips first. So the cue here is to get your butt down. So when I initiate with the hips, instead of this slight piked position I have in my hips, I'm getting my hips flat first, then moving out with the arms. The third mistake is the position of the torso. If you've done some yoga, you know the difference between cat versus cow. So we have, this would be cat. Cow would be more in this position. If I were to try to do an ab wheel rollout in cow, as soon as I start to do that in this position, as soon as I get to about right here, I'm going to start to feel that in my back. Now, this can be a subtlety depending on how much back pain you have. If you're not a back pain sufferer, you could maintain a fairly neutral position here. But regardless of whether or not that's the case, in your mind's eye, you want to think about having a little more cat than cow. More cat is going to get you into a better position to really engage those abs as you roll out. The next mistake that you want to try to avoid is shrugging. As soon as we pull our shoulders up, we are engaging the neck and the traps. This is where a lot of us hold our tension. And when you're putting tension into your shoulders and your neck, you're taking tension away from your abs. Gray Cook had a great quote for this. He says, "Your ear is shoulder poison." So you want to get your shoulders away from your ears. Brett Jones had another really good one. He says that anti-shrug is the key to generating the right amount of tension through your abs. So I'm not going to demonstrate a bad one because it's going to hurt, but if I had my shoulders up here and I started to roll up with my shoulders close to my ears, I'm going to feel that right away in my traps, so I don't want to do that. If I were to follow Brett Jones's advice about anti-shrugging, I'm going to have a nice, easy ab wheel rollout. So those are the biggest mistakes that we see people make when they're doing ab wheel. Before we end this video, I want to share with you guys 2 more tips, and this will make this exercise even better. So a lot of folks fail to engage their whole body, and they still feel very disconnected when they're trying to do ab wheel rollouts. They feel like Frankenstein's monster, where the body is just a series of parts that aren't talking to one another. We've discovered this little handy trick with a med ball that will help you engage your entire body and all of your, like that full hollow position, despite the fact that we're not sitting in the hollow position. If you take a med ball and trap it between your calves and your hamstrings, like so, I'm trying to squeeze the med ball into my backside. And I'm trying to maintain that tension in the I'm trying to squeeze into that med ball the entire time. If you try this drill and you notice that instantly your ab wheel rollouts feel better, that tells us that when you're not using the med ball, something is probably disconnected in your technique. And then the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is this. It is always better. This is not designed to be a high rep thing. I know there's videos on YouTube of guys that are doing them like off their knees and whatnot for like 30 reps or whatever. That's social media land. If you're really using this and you're a beginner just trying to build better ab strength, it is much, much, much better to do a small number of reps with a lot of abdominal tension than to try to see how many times you can roll out before your back starts hurting. So generally speaking, when I'm training these and when I'm writing program for our students, I usually go in sets of about 3 to 5 reps. If a beginner cannot roll the ab wheel out very far, like they're only getting to like about here before their abs start screaming, I may have them come out and hold for up to 5 seconds. So if you're doing a 5-second hold in as far out as you can go, you may not need more than 3 reps per set, and the next day you're going to be feeling something pretty extraordinary through your midsection. So keep your reps low, keep your tension high, keep those abs strong. That's it for Coach's Corner. We'll see you guys next time.